Okay, I will say good morning again. Thank you so much for everybody who's joining. I know it's busy morning, busy September, but we're gonna get this through. We're gonna do it, and then at the end you will realize how easy was the application. So I will go through everything right now. I just want to say that Janet is here with me as always, very kindly supporting, checking the chat and everything because sometimes it's a little bit tricky for me to see the chat when I am into the screen. Please feel free to put your questions there. Jared will be the greatest person that who will be answering. And if she has something, just feel free to unmute yourself and we can go through that. And I will start sharing my screen now. If you guys, you will need hopefully your application and your notional allocation, so we all can start together at the same time. And let me see. I'm gonna press my screen. And I was ready here already with all of you guys.
We
So
can see
if
you,
somebody,
Rocio. Perfect.
awesome, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go very quickly just to all the tabs, just so you guys know what is happening. So the tab one is the context of what the program was. All of us, most of us are already been in the program for at least 1 year. So you know this. Second one is the instructions, but we're gonna go through that once we're doing the application, so don't worry about it. Tab number 3 that is here is telling you about specific ways that we can spend the money, but it's very similar to what we've been doing the last 2 years. So if you know how to spend, if you have already your program, you know this very well. Part 1 is very important that you guys fill it out, please. Sometimes people forget, and then I don't have the name or the number of anything from the school. So please remember to do this. You're gonna write your name. In this case, I'm just gonna write mine, my first name, but first write if you want your full name. Um, I'm gonna write what is your title. Um, so then we know your emails. Please write your email. So then if in case I need to contact anybody, I know where I go. And your telephone number. So I'm sorry, I don't remember my number from here, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, here is where you're gonna be able to find your school. So if you look, your school must be here. If you got a notional location, you will find it. I'm not gonna add anything here just because of privacy and everything, but feel free to just click where is your school. All the answers here must be yes, because you are submitting the application, you're submitting your spending plan. So please remember to also write yes to everything. This is just a confirmation. You don't need to do anything here in the line 22, because this is gonna appear when we start working on the next tab. So feel free to leave that one like this. We're gonna say yes, we are applying. Yes, we will spend the money in the right way. Yes, we'll read all the information because we know this information very well. Yes, we will be submitting an interim report. Remember that it's gonna be happening in December. And yes, the principal or the authority is aware of this. So please fill all these ones. And I'm gonna move to the next one because the next one is when we're gonna start trying to go a little bit slower. And you can see mine is a little bit different because I add already few notes just to make it easy for everybody. Don't worry about it. You're gonna get this template as soon we finish and I upload the video. So you're gonna get also these samples. So in case you have any questions, you will be able to come back to this. So we're gonna start to make it easy for everybody. As every time that we do this, I'm gonna refer to lines instead of to the questions, so we know where we are. So I'm gonna say line 7, line 8, line 9, whatever we're moving, so then we don't have to read all the information just to save us some time. So I'm going to start with line 7, that is your notional allocation. You should receive the email last Friday. We were very happy that we were able to submit it to send it on Friday. So if you don't have your notional allocation or are confused where it is, Janet is here so she can help you. In this case, I'm going to make up my own notional allocation and I will use 20,000. So please put them there. The next question you will see when I write my 20,000, line 13 also will make a number, or will show the same number, sorry. Is your first year applying for Feeding Futures? No, most of us are not. However, there are few schools in the call and maybe few schools that are new this year. So please write yes in case you're new. And then line number 10, you have the capacity to spend. Yes, we always have the capacity to spend. And if not, I know a few schools last year, they have they request for less money. So this is to requesting for less money. In this case, for example, if I cannot spend my 20,000 and I only want to spend 15, I will write it here. So most of us will be able to spend our money, but this is where you write it if you need less money. We're gonna move to the second part, section 2, and we're gonna talk about the line number 16. So this is if we want to receive extra money, okay? So do you want to receive extra money? The answer will be yes. In my case, I want to receive an extra money. I know my program and I need, maybe it will be nice to get some extra funds. So you will write yes. Now, 17, line 17 is always a confusing one because if you say no, this won't change color. If you say yes, this will change color. This is really not important. I will say yes, so you will see that the little square changed to yellow. If you say no, you'll still be able to write, but I'm gonna do it as a yes. And here is when we're gonna add how much extra money we want. What is important in this, and I will emphasize a lot and a lot and a lot, is that you have to add your notional allocation plus the extra funds, okay? Don't just add your extra funds because then the numbers won't match. So what we need is to add notional allocation and extra funds. So in this case, my notional allocation is 20,000 and I want a top up of 5,000. So I'm gonna write 25,000. So you can see I make a little note here, 20,000 notional allocation plus 5,000 that I want extra. I have a total of 25,000, okay? So remember, you can ask, you know, that the extra money that we will receive will depend on how many schools apply and how much money goes back into the pool. But you can always ask and request the extra funds if you need it. I'm now moving into section 3. Hopefully everybody is following me. And if you have any questions, raise your hand, or because I cannot see a lot of you. I'm gonna move to section 3. Okay, section 3 is any other sources. And I'm gonna give a little bit of my opinion here. When you get extra sources from here, then your numbers are gonna be mixing between your money and the money that the funding is giving you. So it gets a little bit of extra layer that we complicate a little bit more things and you have to do a little bit more of math. I'm not saying that you don't have to put it, but I'm saying that then you're gonna have to make numbers in a different way. So for me, I found it that even if you get some donations or something, that may change during the year, and we will be able to report on this later when we do the interim and the final report. So maybe for your application, keep it easy, keep it simple, and let's try to avoid not putting other fundings. I know some of you guys get funding from some of the institutions or some First Nations. So if you want to do it, go ahead. But if you only get like maybe 1,000 or something like that for donations, and this will vary every year, I would recommend that you just leave it with no any other sources. Okay, so I'm gonna leave 0. I'm not gonna put here anything. And I'm gonna move now to my favorite part, that is to tell them how we're gonna spend our money, okay? So how we're gonna spend our money, these are the 3 lines that you will see that if you already receive an email from me with some of the questions that you asked, I will say that these are the 3 biggest lines that are the most important. So we have line 44 is how much money you're gonna spend on your physical food, like the food that you are serving in the school, the food, the snacks, the lunches, everything that is actually physical that the kids are eating in the school. This is the amount that you're gonna write here. The second line is how much you're gonna spend on staff. And we are gonna, this year, we're gonna be able to increase a little bit our percentage. So we're gonna go from between 10 and 15% of your total. So that's always good news. And the last part, line 46, is how much money you're gonna spend either on grocery carts, small appliances, and garden. This is a total. So I'm gonna give you my example, so then I can explain myself better hopefully without confusing. So I have 25,000. Remember, this is the number that I'm gonna be based on the number on 18. So I have 25,000, and I decide that I'm gonna spend 18,000 on food. I'm going to spend 2,000 on my staff, and I'm going to spend 5,000 on other. Okay. When you make the numbers, these three numbers need to add the total. So need to give me this number on 18. So you will see that when I add 18, 2,000 and 5,000, my total will be 25. You don't need to add it here. It's just an example of what is the total number that I'm doing. Okay. You see that this is in orange, the line 46. We will talk about this in a bit, and then you will understand what is happening here. But remember, these are the three lines where we're gonna decide staff, we're gonna decide physical food, and any other expenses that you're planning to do. Anybody has any questions here?
Yeah, Rocio from the chat. Where should schools put their carryover from last year?
Okay, that's a very good question. I will say that maybe we will have to put it in other sources, right? Janet, what do you think?
I agree. To be very frank with everybody, the government doesn't want carryovers. This is supposed to be helping families in through crisis times, and to carry it over makes them kind of wonder about the need inside the independent school sector. So the form doesn't show carryover because they don't want carryover, although it is allowed. So yes, put it, I think, Rocio, that's the only option we have here, is to put it into the other. And then in some way, in your comments or at some point, Rocio and you are going to have to tease out which part is the carryover. Thanks, Rocio. And someone else is saying line 4. Go ahead.
Sorry, if you say, let's see that you're having a 10,000 extra, let's see that I'm gonna write it here. So just for people who's carrying over, and you can put it here, carry over. You will see that now instead of having 20,000, I will have 30. And that means that I probably, if I'm still asking for top up, my number will be 35. That's why it's a little bit more confusing when we add extra. But for everybody who's carry over, don't worry, I have the list. I know we're not so many schools. I'm always happy to go with you guys over your application and then discuss how we can do it to make sense everything. But yes, sorry, Janet, yes. Anything else?
Yeah. Well, and also we're not trying to shame any school that has a carryover. We know that we're getting used to this program and the funding is flowing at odd times and all of that. But for this current school year, please try to not have a carryover. Rocio, we also have someone saying line 46 is not orange on their spreadsheet. It's yellow like all the other lines. Does that mean they have a different version of the application?
No, this is my, you are right. It shouldn't be yellow. It should be yellow. Sorry, mine is different just so you guys can understand, because we're going to have a color code here. So we understand what is happening in this line. So yours, everything should be yellow. This is just for us to kind of like, when I going back to this, you will understand where this number is coming from. So don't worry. Yeah, it should be yellow.
Oh, but that's very good. People paying attention. And then a final question. We should have all money accounted for in this section 5.1, correct?
Yes, exactly. All your money that you're having, it should be distributed in these three. Either you can use 2, you can do 1. Some people saying, I'm using all my money in food. So then probably your 40,000 are going to be here. Or I'm using all my money in gift cards. Okay, all your money will be here. So it doesn't matter how you distribute. You don't have to have money in each one of the lines, but all the full amount should be distributed in here. Did that make sense?
Perfect. And then I know you're going to address this later, but the last question is about the staffing ratio. Oh, sorry, the maximum on staffing, but I know that's coming up. So we'll let you get to that part.
Yes, yes. So, okay, so remember to make your math here. I know we all can do math because all of us are teachers, so that always makes me very happy. We're gonna move now to the line 50, and I'm gonna, we already know, guys, you are being asked these several times over the last years. So it's about who is third-party providers. I just put some examples here, like I did now is Fresh for Kids. Remember, it used to be School Fruits and Vegetables. That's okay, either name, I know what you mean. I put Munch and Lunch, restaurants, you can put your caterers, Don't get complicated. You can write a full thing like just restaurants. You don't have to give me like Pizza Hut and Subway. It doesn't matter. Just write full restaurants. I try to make this as simple as we can, so please do not complicate. Make it simple, make it easier. Food suppliers is things that your staff buy. Remember, it's always wherever we get the food from. So you can write grocery stores, local farms, farmer markets, anything where your staff or you go and buy the things. If you are doing grocery gift cards, probably you don't need to add anything here, okay? And then we're gonna move to staff. So staff, as I was mentioned, we will be able to spend, in the past years was between 5 to 10%. And then we've been chatting a lot, and we know that, staff is a big part of what we are doing and working in the schools and, doing all these amazing meal programs. And I know even 15 may not be as big as we wish, but it's a little bit better. So we are going to be able to spend between 10 to 15% on your staff from your number, okay? So in this case, from this number, I use only 2,000. When I make my math, it's actually only 8%. But if you make your math, you can use all the way to 15. So that means that your numbers here are gonna be also matching according this. So hopefully I explained myself well. Did anybody has any questions about staff? Sorry, I'm gonna try to open my chat and see if anybody.
No, Rocio, no questions yet, but just to be clear for the recording, so there is now a permission that you can use up to 15% of your, is it your grant amount or your total amount include, because the school portion, if the school is contributing, that has nothing to do with like the percentage, correct?
Yeah. And right now we're gonna do it on the total number that you're doing on your 25,000. Remember when we have actually our last final allocation, and when you report, you will be based on that number. So right now it's actually just guessing because we don't know exactly if we're gonna get our wish number. So you can base your number on that. But when the reporting time comes, that is actually the real money that you're getting, just keep in mind that we won't pass more than 15%. So that's very important to just keep in mind.
Excellent.
Yes.
And then a question that's referring to what happens when a school has like a growth spurt and more students. There doesn't seem to be a line to indicate the number of students, but in this case, the school is saying that because they have more students, they're going to ask for more funding, which of course is allowed to ask for more funding for any situation. But Rocio, the question is, there doesn't seem to be a line for enrollment. Is that correct? There is no place to put down enrollment?
Yeah, no in the application, not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, Rebecca.
A question about the FTE for the staffing. Before we've had to do the equation to get the percentage based on the number of employee hours spent helping with Feeding Futures or working with Feeding Futures. Now we're just taking the amount of money.
Yes, I know
Okay.
it's confusing. Yes, it's a little bit confusing. It's because this is application, no final report. The report is based on FTE. This is gonna be based on the money. So
Okay.
yes, good catch. Thank you, Rebecca, for clarifying that. Yes.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm gonna move, but if you guys have any question, we are always happy to come back. So I'm going to talk now about 5.4. That is the section that is related to exactly line 46. So that's why these are in the same color. This is my Montessori background, knowing that color coding is very easy for me. So hopefully that helps other people. So all the section 5.4 it has to match the number that we're putting here in line 46. Let's go and check. So for example, line 62 say, any other supplies or any small appliances that you're buying. So I'm gonna say, yeah, you know what, we need maybe an extra microwave because we see that we need another one. So I'm gonna write $500 here. Then it's about food security is where you're gonna add the amount that you're gonna spend on grocery cards. This is the place where you're gonna add all the amounts that you're gonna spend on grocery cards, only grocery cards here, okay? So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna spend 4,000. Here is about policies, like if you have any policy, I will say yes. And yesterday I have a very interesting question asking me how the policy should look and if they need to have it like write it and everything. So my suggestion is that you have to have a very clear procedure of how you are distributing your gift cards. In this case, for example, this school was saying we have a as a survey that goes and the families self-identified, and then we also base that on on our tuition. And she explained me all the process, and I said, here you go, that's your policy. You know how the process goes. You have a spreadsheet that shows how much money is given. You know how which person are getting it. So that is something that you should have. They are not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you for your policy, but it's important that you have it in place in case somebody asks. You will know how the distribution goes and how the process goes. So I just wrote here, the school will provide gift cards based on financial assistance program. Okay, you can write whatever is your system. And the last part is other. So other expenses could be, for example, your soil for your garden, your seeds for your garden. Remember that we are not using money for building full gardens, okay? We're not using the money to have like a full, like a boxes or those kind of things. This is only for soil, very small tools or seeds, and the food hopefully is going back to your food program. So I'm going to say that I am spending only $500 here for my soil and seeds. Okay, so what is happening here? If you add 4,500 and 500 will give me a total of 5,000. So that means that in line 46, I have 5,000. So that's why I was saying this is going to be matching these numbers that you have here. So depending on how much money you put in here, this is what you're going to be putting in here. So yes, everybody got that part? Hopefully, yes. I don't see anybody saying no. Okay. I'm gonna move now. That was the maze and the beautiful part of the application. The rest is gonna be easier because it's just questions, and you guys know these questions very well because we've been writing it over and over, so you know how to do it very well. I'm gonna put it here again. I'm gonna put it the full page so then you guys can see that these are related. So line 64 talk about offering free meals to students in need. So I wrote no. Line 70 say, do you offer free snacks, no meals, snacks to students in need? I say yes. The next one will be offering subsidized meals to students in need. I will say yes. And then if you plan to subsidize snacks for students in need, and I say no, because everybody's gonna get a snack, so it doesn't, And then I'm gonna write, do you have a plan to other type of food assistance? Here is when people who is using only gift cards, please write yes. Even if all these are your no's, please write yes here because you are using another kind of program. So, sorry, I just realized that I say yes, we will provide grocery gift cards 3 times per year to support families during winter, spring, and summer breaks. So you can write, we give it once a year, we give it every month, depending on what you're giving it. Or if you're not giving it, you just leave that empty. I know some people is doing hampers during the Christmas or during, other holidays. So if you wanted that, you can add also there. And now what I am moving, we're going to move to the next part that is actually related to the first part. So this part and this part also need to match. So it says here on line 86, the frequency of offering free meals to students in need. If you see, if I answer no here, it will be no applicable. If you answer yes, then you will maybe change here and decide when you're doing it. So that's why this is in purple and this is in purple, because these two are together. Then the next one is how often you will be offering free snacks. And because I say, yes, I'm going to be offering free snacks, I say, oh, daily. I'm going to put, granola bars or apples. So that will be a daily. The next one will be related to line 72. So it say how you are offering subsidized meals. And I say here, yes, I will be offering subsidized meals. And I will say monthly. You know, there are a few options here. So you can pick whatever is closer to you. If there is no, try to do your best to go into the closer. I know some people is using it bi-weekly or maybe occasionally. So just try to do as close as, don't worry about it because we don't have all the options that we want. The next one is if you're offering partial subsidized snacks. This is related to this, to lines to this. So then I say nope. So that means that I will say no applicable. So all these are together. So also you will, when you receive the template, you will see that they have the same color. So everything that has the same color are kind of like going together. Okay, we're already halfway, so we're almost there. And the next one, I write a few answers for you guys just so we can, you know, save some time and maybe talk a little bit about questions and also the survey. So I'm just going to read about it. You guys are familiar with this, so you know the answers. The first ones are helping, supporting the students, helping on reserve. I wrote, we don't currently have any students. If you have, you can say, normally we use, Kevin, just give me a sec. You can say you know, everybody receive everybody's included in our program, or any specifics that you have. I know, but based on what I read on reports, normally everybody is offering to everybody, so that's always very good. Yes, Kevin.
Thanks, Rocio. Just going back to line 68 through 77 for a second. Sorry, you're still going fast. You're doing awesome, but you're still going fast. So you have yours set up so that A and C, which correspond to each other somewhat, one is a yes, one is a no, same thing with B and D. Could they all be yeses?
Absolutely.
Depending on which students you're working with.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
All could be yeses, all could be nos.
Okay.
So normally, if you have a no, normally it's because you will have a gift cards or something like that. Yes, all could be yeses, all could be nos. And sorry to be fast. I'm trying, but that's just my normal speed. But anybody else have any questions?
Thanks, Rocio.
No problem, Kevin. Anybody else have any
Yes,
questions?
Rocio, there's a couple.
Yes, let's go.
So should we include a description of 5.5 A through D on line 78?
No, you only need to give me a description from E.
Okay.
So if
so
you
the others are
begin-
self-explanatory.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? It's because they're gonna ask you these questions in the survey. So they're gonna ask you how many percentage of food you are offering, the nutritious percentage. They're gonna ask you all those in the survey when we check. We're gonna be checking on that one in a few minutes. So don't worry, don't stress yourself about these because they're gonna be asking us later, but not just in this form.
Thank you. And now we have a very interesting situation about a hot lunch provider. So here's the question. How about when we give a certain amount of gift certificates to our hot lunch provider to support the students in need? Would this be a partial, because not all year is free lunch, or a free meal because it's free if the family uses the gift certificate only to order hot lunch?
Okay, so you're giving the gift certificate to moms? Well, to parents.
You're giving it to the provider. You're giving a certain amount, not a full. It's not covering all the lunches. It's a top up to the provider to use for kids in need.
Yeah, that will be partially subsidized.
Yeah, I agree. Partial.
Yes.
Great. Okay, moving on.
Okay, no more questions? Oh, you guys are an experts now. So yes, okay. If you need me to go back to any of the sections, I'm always happy to go back. If you are like, okay, Rocio, you are, because I actually cheat a little bit and I put already the answers and you guys are writing it. So forgive me about that, but I want that you guys get as much as we can in 1 hour. So, okay. So if you want me to go back or you're stuck somewhere, please raise your hand or put it on the chat and we will be back. We were talking about other kinds of we support our students. So we have now First Nations students living off reserve. So that means, as I mentioned before, I wrote here, our food program will be accessible to all the students, including students living off reserve. And these ones are questions that you already replied on your report. So some of that, remember, you already have the answer. So just put it here back. And then there is any other Indigenous students that may who is experiencing food insecurity. And I said again, all our food program will be offered to all the students. If you have a very targeting, programs, I know a couple of schools only have that one. You can give me more details here, but if no, just give me a general answer. That will be covered for the application. Okay, so we're gonna move now to the line 103. And I'm just putting answers here just to give you some ideas. You don't have to do it, or you can copy my answers if that works for your school too. So we're not inventing the wheel here. So let's see, I say this is about increasing our BC food or our BC products. So I just wrote, any fruits or vegetables that we buy, we will be shopping in the 10Ks around our school. You can, we're buying directly from a farm. Sorry, I'm looking at all my things that are wrong. Okay. Or local food vendors, we're encouraging to food our, to just buy and do as local as we can. You can say, a lot of you guys are enrolled to Fresh for Kids. You can say we're using Fresh for Kids. This is just to show that we're trying our best to get more local food. So anything that you want to do, don't complicate your life. One sentence is enough. I know there are already received amazing applications with so much information. I always appreciate that. But if you, I know is busy, one sentence that you describe it, it's more than enough. The next one that we are talking about is how we're increasing nutrition. So increasing nutrition, I'm going in line 113, so 113. And I just wrote also some options for you guys that you can copy or you can use. I say we will focus on natural food selections or low sugar content with minimal ingredients. Some of you are actually cooking from scratch at school, so that's also amazing. We are educating our schools and our families, our students and our families to healthy options. We are limiting sugary snacks. We are buying more fruits and vegetables. So all those kind of things are how you're increasing your nutrition. Even simple things like we are, like I think a lot of people increase from the first year to the second year and just adding more fruits. That's always very good for us to show that we are moving towards more nutritious. I know the cost, sometimes it's more expensive, but I appreciate that you guys are doing all the effort to do it. Okay, I'm gonna take a break so people can write. Okay, I'm gonna continue with the next one. And I now on 122, line 122, and this is about the capacity of tracking. So I'm gonna show you the options. We have 3 different options. One is that you already start tracking. That you're already tracking. The B is that you will start tracking, and the C is no tracking yet. Remember that tracking is still optional this year. We know that they are actually working a lot that we eventually will be tracking, but I know some of us are still learning in how to do it and just kind of consolidating our program. So don't feel bad if you say, no, I'm not tracking yet, or, I may start or I may not. So this won't have any repercussion in your application or anything. So feel free to answer whatever you feel. So I will say that, oh yeah, maybe I will start this year. And then we're going to move to the 5.14, that is the section about how we identified our students. So in line 125 is self-families, and these are the ways that your families are doing it. Some of you guys are doing family self-identified. So if that's your case, you can write yes. Then staff and family staff identified students, you can say yes. I will say something that Kevin just wrote to my mind, and that was very good. You can say yes to all of them. You can say no to all of them. It's really not a wrong answer here, okay? Families are already receiving financial. Yeah, I actually believe that that was what I wrote on the top. So yes. Or third party identifies. This could be priests or social workers or anybody else who's maybe helping you. So I will say yes to all of them just in case, but you can have a mix and match in here depending on your situation. And the last one is other. If you have another option, please feel free to, they're gonna write, you will be able to write here. Okay. Anybody else have any questions so far? Okay, I'm gonna move to the next section. We're almost done, and then I'm gonna go back and we're gonna try to go one more time in case we have any other questions. So in line 131, talk about the strategies that we are using to do stigma-free. So we are experts on this, I think, by now, because I read all your reports and you guys are doing awesome. So I just wrote here, food is delivered and served to every student in an equitable way. Community lunches, a lot of you guys are doing community lunches, are always a good time to celebrate and remove the stigma to all the food programs. Or we offer programs to all students. We have open access. So I know each one of you guys are doing the best to do this. So also the same, write one sentence. You don't have to write so many things. But I know some of you guys are very proud of what you're doing, so feel free to just put it here if you want. Okay. I'm gonna go to 135. And this is kind of like you were asking about student enrollment. So it says here how the percentage of students population in need. And this is a number that I know it changed so much because I remember like even during the interim report and the final report last year, a lot of the schools reach out to me and say, well, it used to be 10%, but now we are over 24 or 20 something because, families are feeling more comfortable because you guys are doing a great programs. So then families are feeling more comfortable to come forward and say that they are in need. So this is just for us to show where we are at. So the ministry can understand better, where the schools, the numbers at schools are changing also. So here is that how much do you think your school is in need? And you're the best to know. Okay, so I'm gonna write, let's see, I'm gonna say 35% of my students. And the number will come like that. Okay. And then this is that you will confirm that you will share information. Basically, right now we're sharing information. So yes, you confirm. That also means that we will be, tracking numbers because in the interim report, probably they're going to ask us again how many meals we're providing, how many students we are serving. So that's also something that we just need to confirm that we will be willing to do those reports in December and in June. I don't know if I have any question. I see that the chat blink, but I don't know if it's a question or a comment. Is a student in need based on the survey, or it could, please use your own estimate, because what I see is it's important that because you know better your community, so let's try to use your own numbers. And then we will be, and then during the year, we will be able to kind of like go through the numbers and have a difference. So yes. Okay, we're in the last part right now, and this is about how we engage with our community, also a question that we've been asked before. So it's if we are engaging with First Nation and other indigenous groups, depending on your school, some of you are, some of you are not. So I will say at this time, for example, in my case, I will say no, not yet, or maybe I don't have any connections, or maybe I'm just working towards. So the same, there is no wrong answer here. If you say yes, please explain us how and who. And then the next one is about engaging with parents, guardians, students, community groups. And most of you are saying yes because you are involving your staff, you're involving your parents, volunteers, all those people that you are doing. And it could be as simple as, yes, we send emails, or yes, we send a survey to everybody, or yes, we are taking in consideration the children's feedback for snacks or something like that that we already work with. So feel free to just write it there. And now this is actually the end. So I'm gonna give you two things. First is, if you notice, this is exactly the same template that we used last year. There are a few changes in the survey that we're gonna be talking in a few minutes, but the application is exactly the same. So if you feel hesitated of what is happening, you probably have your application from last year, and you can also check. Of course, your allocation will be different, but you can also use that as a base of what you did, and then feel easier and less complicated on what to put in your application. You will receive this one to help you to go through, and then I'm here on the phone. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to give me a call and we can do it together. So I want that you guys make this easier and successful. So please feel free to just reach out at any time. I'm always here. So please feel free to reach out. I'm going to put it back here and see if anybody have any questions regarding the application. If your numbers are not matching, if now that you are going through, you say, no, this doesn't work, how we can do it. So I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit, and then we can come back in case somebody has any question. Oops, sorry. And then and then we will be back to, it's very interesting because I don't know how to stop sharing. Okay, I guess I'm not stop sharing because I don't know how to do it and I don't want to close it. So I'm going to keep it like that. Yes, Kevin.
Sorry to bother again. My question is regarding the tracking, especially when we're talking tracking of application to application from year to year. So last year, I indicated that we were going to begin tracking the amount of food which is purchased locally in BC, which we did. Over the summer, I lost that canteen manager. I've had to replace the person, and I don't want to say that now I am doing it really well because I've got a new person in the position. So can I once again say I'm going to start tracking, or is
Yes,
that something that's going to be frowned on?
No. I mean, it was very interesting, and I'm going to share while other people is thinking about questions. When I see we're doing a comparison between year 1, year 2, and hopefully this year 3, we saw things going on and off because we are on a curve of learning. All of us, we're not expecting perfect. Like right now, for sure, it's a lot of things happening. People is either hiring new staff or not hiring, or people say, this is a lot, or it's a lot of very things happening. So do not feel bad if you go back to say I'm not tracking. Maybe that's okay. Next year is a different way. Maybe halfway you start saying, you know what, this person got it and we're going to be doing it. So don't worry about it. I think when we're going to be a little bit, when the report comes at the end of the year, then is when we actually show what happened through the year. So at this moment, if you feel that probably is not going to happen, that's okay. Nothing is going to happen if we change our mind and change it from last year.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rocio.
No problem. I know somebody was asking a question. Let me see. Okay. I see. Janet, can you help me with one allocation?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice that. I will do that right
No,
now.
that's okay. Okay, let me see. I'm going with Donna. Okay, lines 44, 45 are the total. We are loaded. Are the total extra we hope to get? Donna, you mean that in the line 44, 45, and 46, you have to put the numbers even including your top up, including your wish number. So this is gonna be if we get everything that I want in life, if I ask for like my 25,000 and I got it, this is my plan to spend. We may not get the 25,000 in my case, for example. Let's see that at the end they give me only 22. It's okay, because what they want to do is like if you get your maximum that is 25, you know exactly how you're going to spend it. So yes, your line 44, 45, and 46 needs to add to everything that you're asking for. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, Sandra, I will send it to you as soon as I finish this. I will send the template again into the email that I will be posting today. I will send it, but Sandra, I'll just make a note here and I will send it to you as soon as finished. Just give me. Yes. Normally it's attached, but you know, I sent 271 emails, so maybe I skipped one. Sorry about it, Sandra, but I will send it. For line, okay, let me see. For line 99, okay, where I am, okay, 99 and 100. Yes, you can answer the same, Peter. I know yours. I know you are working a lot with that, so yes, absolutely, you can answer the same. Definitely. Okay. Anything else? And remember that applications, I know that that's a question also that I got this morning in one of the applications, is that people were concerned about, okay, what about if I'm putting this and then at the end it changed because maybe I don't get the staff or maybe I don't get. That's okay. Things happen, you know. They may change, and that's why we have the opportunity to report in December and in June. So this is kind of like a really our wish. This is what we expect if everything and all the stars align. But things may change through the year. Just remember that if you're doing a big purchase, for example, like I'm gonna buy a fridge, but I only budget for 500 or something like that, please contact me before you do the buy-in or before you do that. That is the only one that sometimes I'm a little bit more hesitated with appliances, especially because we are now on year 3 and we are kind of like having, you know, most of the schools already got one of the big ones. But if it's your first year or you realize that you need something that is a little bit bigger, please contact me and then we will be able to talk and chat about it. But yes, we want that you guys being successful in your program, and we know that some of these things probably are part of the need. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else have any other questions about application. No, I don't hear anything. Okay. And if something comes up, don't worry, we're not leaving yet. I'm just gonna go and click now the other survey. So we're gonna talk a little bit about this. If you do not submit your online survey, your application is not complete. So please, 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 I know it takes a little bit of longer time, but if you don't submit both, even if I receive your application and if the ministry doesn't receive your survey, it won't be marked as complete. So please don't forget to do it. Now, bad part about this is that once you start, you cannot stop because you have to do it in one sit. So you have to be able to put around, like I'd say 20 minutes. I will make myself maybe around 30 minutes if you have it, because it's longer, but I know you know the answer. So please remember that you cannot save it. And unfortunately, I don't receive the surveys right away. The ministry will send it to me to do the analysis after. So I don't know who already submitted or not. So if you don't remember, just maybe bear with me because I don't have the answers yet. They probably send it to me every couple weeks. So I'm not, I don't have it yet, okay? So I'm gonna go through this. Sorry, I'm gonna minimize this so then I can, you guys can see my screen. So once again, this is gonna be the survey that we're gonna be asking. It has your names and your name of the school and your number. So please look for that. You're gonna write here, and I'm gonna make this, just put it here. I'm gonna put, this is about how we are, if we have a food program or not. And I was chatting with Jared before the call started about this, and it was very interesting because last year we were able to, people who were not, oh, I just realized that I'm not sharing the screen. So, sorry. Okay, here we are. Can you see? Yes.
Yeah, I see who you are.
Yes, now I am. Thank you. So last year we were able, people who were doing only gift cards were able to skip a lot of the questions right from the beginning, but now we're going to be going through few of them just because it's part of what the survey asked this time. So it says, do your school have a food program? most of us who are in this call and whoever receive a notional allocation, you will say yes. And that means because either you're doing a food program on site or you are offering some gift cards. So that will also be considered a food program at this point. So I will say yes. And you will see that a lot of questions will pop in. Don't worry, most of them you already know, okay? So we're gonna try to go, I'm not gonna go through all of them because that will take me a little bit longer, but we're gonna try to go just as in each section, at least for a couple. So the first one is program type. And because this survey has to be basically the same as the public schools, so some of the questions maybe are not going to be exactly what we want or have the answer that we want, but we're going to try our best to go as closest as you can. So for example, do your school offer food programs? If you are not offering, you will say never. Also, if you are working with only grocery gift cards, you're probably gonna say never to all these questions, but you're gonna write something here. Okay, so this is about breakfast, this is about lunch and snacks. If you're offering maybe two or let's see that some of you guys are offering only twice a month, go to the closest. If you're offering maybe only, once a week, so let's gonna try to go closer as you can in your answer. So, and if you are using grocery gift cards, you're gonna write here because it say, are you using any other additional food programs? And you have here like grocery gift cards, backpack buddies, grocery hampers. If yes, provide your answer. So yes, you will say, yes, I'm using grocery cards. I'm also gonna send a template of these. So don't worry, I will not answer all of them, but I will send a template for you guys to have like a kind of like a little guide. And I'm not going to write a lot of things right now, so we can just go through everything. It says if you're offering this program to kindergarten or pre or post school care. Some of you guys, I know some schools are offering to early in the morning for the children who come earlier. So just answer depending on what you have. And we were talking about the percentage of students and everything. Here's when they're going to be asking you about that. So this is and normally this is some of the questions that actually get most of the data wrong and a little bit wonky. So we're gonna try to work a little bit on this. So it's in the average day when the food is offered, how many or the percentage of the school of the children that are accessing to this food. So remember, when you are serving your let's put it as a snacks, okay? We're gonna have snacks all day. We're gonna have a bowl of fruit and yogurt. This is how many of your students approach and take it and eat it. So depending on each one of the programs, you will have to click. What is gonna be tricky is that if you are only doing grocery gift cards, they're gonna ask you to click something because you can see there is a little red here, answers here that you will have to answer that question. So if you're doing only grocery gift cards, I will know your answers when I do the analysis because you wrote grocery cards. So please write 0, 0, 0 to everything, okay? Because it won't let you submit it if you don't write something here. Most of us who are doing other kind of programs, you will have another answer here in that. And these are exactly the same questions. Just about, remember that this is students in total, this is students in need, and this is students, First Nation students, okay? So I don't see any questions here. Hopefully everybody is following me. And I'm gonna move to the next ones, okay? So it says students in need. How do you identify? You remember we already asked this question in the application, so you can just write exactly what you did. So observation, staff, you can tick as many as you want. How many percentage of students do you have identified as in need? Remember, this is also going to be based on what you write on your application. Maybe you say 20%, 30%. I remember, I think mine was 35%, so I will write that. And then this is also related. Given the numbers provided in the question above, what is your definition of students in need? Okay, so we have also some options here. This depends on your situation. So is good. You can pick what is the closest to your situation. And then here also asks about stigma. You already have that answer, so it's very easy. You can write exactly the same because we're going to be, we don't need to do anything else. I see a question. Somebody's asking a question. If we offer breakfast, lunch, snack programs, and our student numbers are mostly those in need, can our answer total will be different from our students? Okay, I'm going to try to read again. If we offer breakfast, lunch, and snack programs, and our students' numbers are mostly those in needs, can our answer from total numbers different from the students in need? Yes, definitely will be. Yes, you can do that because it's different. Yes, Peter, that works. Okay. Now, this is one of the tricky parts that actually the ministry is very interested in, and is one of the ones that is being a lot of very data through the years that is being causing us a lot of problem because it's been just tricky for schools to answer. So this is the cost and how much money it costs, okay? So this is a total out-of-pocket cost to students, okay? To the students, not to the school, to the students. So this is where identify need. Most of you guys are giving free meals. Some of you are partially subsidized. So you can say, if you are paying, I don't know, student is paying only $3 because you're paying the other person. So let's try to also go back. But remember, this is not the cost for you. It's how much the student will pay or is paying in case they are paying. Why they ask this question? Because the ministry or the public schools are actually based on all this, like they are trying to see, oh, the lunch is $3 and the breakfast is $1, something like that. So that's why they want to compare data from both sectors. So I know for us, all of us, it could be a little bit different because each school is different, but we're going to try our best to say, and remember that is the cost per student. Okay, so, and there are 4 different categories. So this will be with the students in need and without need. Again, with need and without need, okay? So this is lunch, and breakfast. If you don't offer in anything, the good thing is that you can skip these ones if you're only doing gift cards because you can see there is no little asterisk. So when you don't have these little red things, you can skip those questions, but if no, you need to answer, yes? Okay, so now we're talking about funding. How much the percentage approximately what percentage of students in need does current funding allow to reach out with your school food program? So I know we know that we see the increase in more students in need. So here is a time where you can say maybe the funding is not enough or we are good, the funding is covering all of our needs. So this is where we're going to be discussed, or you're going to be able to pick which one of the percentage is actually covering and helping you to fit and to support these your students. Here is about facilities. These questions are very similar to what we replied last year. So it's about, if you have a kitchen facility and all those other things, remember that they want to know how our structures are, infrastructures are, and everything to be able to provide. So some of us, especially small schools, like I was in a very small school, we don't even have a kitchen when I was working. So please remember to write that so then we know where you guys are and how the schools are and how the sector is doing in that part. This is additional equipment that you are maybe needing, that you are currently need to operate. So this is where we can say, well, I may need any extra things, like dishwasher or oven and everything. This is not related to the amount that you put on the application. This is just basically what you will need if everything works and if we were in a perfect world, what we will need. And then this is about the preparation of your food. If it takes on site, off site, all those third party facilities. So that's an easy one. I'm not gonna go deep on that. Your garden supplement. I know some schools are been doing a great job and then actually harvesting. I know some schools already have a big gardens that are able to make some soups and everything. So this is where you can write it. Let me see. I see another one. Sorry, I missed the funding section. Okay. Yes. So in this one, where we were talking about funding, is that if you feel that the funding that you're receiving is is enough for what percentage of your students. Like if it's covering actually the 100% of your students in need, it is covering only the 70% of your students in need. Like is what do you think the funding that you're receiving is covering for? But students in need, okay? That's the clue, the students in need.
And Rocio, on that one, they're putting down their notional. So your notional that you're guaranteed, if you agree to all the conditions, how much of your students in need would that cover? And of course, on your application, you can ask for more than your notional. But this is response to your notional, correct, Rocio?
Yes, this is responding on your notional, yes. Because basically that's what you get if we don't receive any extra money. Okay. Thank you. Is that yes? Thank you, Tara. Okay. Okay, I think I read this already. And yes, so we are on local food. So this is where I was telling you guys that they're gonna ask us about other nutrition and other kind of parts. So this is how percentage of your of your food is cooked in house. So you can have yes, no. Once again, if you are doing gift cards, you're probably gonna write no, but because they won't let you pass, okay? They won't let you submit if these answers are not something. Who is helping you? A lot of us are working with a lot of volunteers. So you can write here if you are helping, if volunteers are helping you, there is also other nonprofits. A lot of you guys are using teachers and students. So here is where you write that. And also who is buying the food. A lot of you guys are the ones who are going and buying, and I know that you are doing delivery and doing amazing things. So just give us who is the person who is buying the food, if there is somebody else. In other, you can write also, principal or whoever is doing it if your answer is not here. Now we're back to are we buying some BC school, BC food, sorry. So in this case, remember we talked already about what is a BC and what is not BC. So we can identify that the BC products are the ones who are at the end ensembling in BC, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. So you can answer yes or no, don't complicate your life. If you're buying fruits that are local, you can write yes. If you are just, don't know, maybe you write no. So this is not going to be, we're going to get more in detail in the report. So don't worry about it here. You can just, because they don't give us more options. So just yes or no. Where is the food used in the school food program source? So remember, it goes back again to, we have grocery, we have Costco, we have all the other places where you're buying. So you already have that answer also in your application. So just pick the one that you do that. And this is some of the programs that you are using to support your education and in school. Also, you can click all of them. I love some of these options. So you can click as many as you want, or maybe you're not doing anything, but I believe that most of you guys already show me that you're doing some education about food and nutrition and all those kind of things. And here is what supports will be helpful to initiate an advanced food local education. Some of you guys are saying, maybe have more opportunity to go to workshops. Some of you are saying maybe, just, have extra, visit some farms, knowing where there is these things. Even though that this is not covered by Feeding Futures, they are trying to make more programs that are free and that people can access to that. So it's good that we can give some ideas of how these initiatives or how they can support these initiatives. So yes. And this is where we're going to talk about nutrition. So that's why I was saying the word about nutrition, because they're going to ask us a lot of questions about that. This question also, you already answered it last year. So it's very easy. It's just percentage and how much vegetables and fruits, for example, and you can write, yeah, we're over 75, where this is the percentage that you can pick which one you are. So the first one is vegetables, the next one is whole grain, then is no processed proteins, and they give you options here so you can just pick. Remember, probably you will have maybe different percentage in each one of the questions, and that's okay. We have milk. They also ask about sugary drinks. They ask for grains, and they also for prepackaged salty snacks. or sweets. Okay, so they also give you here like some examples. So it's very good because they give us examples so we know where to put it. There is no shaming on this. No answer is wrong. You know, we are just trying to know where we are at. And we understand that sometimes packaged snacks are cheaper and it's better to offer some snacks to eat than have nothing. So yes, please just write, don't feel anything wrong about here, okay? And this is about if you are able to accommodate some dietarian, sorry, I'm speaking in Spanish, dietary preference, you know, if you have in this. So if you are considering any of these, please feel free to click here. And then we almost there, I promise. We have 3 more questions. So the next one is First Nations engagement. I can add that to you guys. They changed the principles last year and they are now trying to incorporate more how we use, you know, local First Nations programs and foods and culture and all those involved in our food programs. There is actually, if all of you attend that we have this SharePoint or Google Share with documents, the document is there, but I'm more than happy to just forward also in this email, and you can see it's only a few little circles that show us how we should be more aware of this. And then we're going to talk about barriers. How are you addressing your barriers and what are you very proud of your program? And I know these questions you already answered, so you probably have already an idea. Once again, don't complicate your life a lot. Write me 1 sentence, you know, it's more than enough, but please write something because then when we report, it's always very important that we share what we're doing and the amazing work that you guys are doing, especially when you're proud about something, please write it because I see and I hear so many good stories. And sometimes I feel that we're falling short in how we share it in what we are doing. But I also know that it's September and it's crazy. So just 1 sentence, that's more than enough. And then will be your name and your email. And then you will be able to submit. Once you submit, it's gone. I know last year we have few people saying, hey, you know, I make a mistake. I submitted. Can I submit it again? Hopefully not. Like, hopefully you don't make a mistake and you're happy with your answer. But if you feel that you really need to submit it again, you can submit it. And then I will delete, when I receive them, I will delete the oldest version and I will keep the first version. But hopefully in the first time you're done because then it's a lot of extra work. Okay, I see 1 more question. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sandra. I don't know if anybody else have any question. This is a long, I'm sorry. I know it's a long survey and it's a lot of information, but it's very self-explanatory. And I will send you also the PDF with some of the possible questions so you can also go through and at least you can see what is they going to ask you. So you don't have to, you know, in case you need to prepare some information, you will have it ready when you start. So now I learned how to.
We'll see you on the survey. You already said it, but it's important to remember you cannot save your progress. So
You can't.
be ready to complete the whole thing in 1 sitting.
Yes. I stopped sharing. I learned how to do it. Sorry, I was not looking at the button. Anybody else? I know I took a little bit extra time. I'm so sorry. It's not new, Tara. They just add few new questions. So we have this question, this survey last year. Every year we've been having it. It's just they adding now more specific questions because the data they want that we kind of match between public and independent sector. So it's just adding a few extra things, but we have the answers. So we know that we can do it very well. Thank you, everybody who come. I know if you need to go, you can go. I'm still here if you have any questions or you realize that your application has something else. I see already my email receiving so many of the applications. So thank you guys for whoever already clicked send. Thank you.
And Rocio, you're going to send sorry, Sean. But Rocio, you'll send out the recording and some sample application, your examples and things like that this afternoon, correct?
It will be going, yes, before 4 o'clock, everybody will have it. And I'm here, so you guys can give me a call also if you need any extra help.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank all of the participants. As you can imagine, this is going to be a really busy time for Rocio as applications start coming in and reviewing. What we have found is that those who participate in this webinar that it's really efficient. Your applications come in and they're of a higher quality. So thank you very much. And to you, Rocio, really appreciate your expertise on this and your willingness to support all those schools, and certainly to our schools, because we hear when we get those year-end reports, it's making a huge difference in the lives of so many families and kids. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sean, for your kind words. And thank you, everybody who come. I will just put it as a last part. Bear with me. I'm receiving so many applications. But you will receive a confirmation when I review your application, and I check that is no mistakes, everything match. You will receive an email, and if we have to fix something, you're also gonna receive an email. So it's not gonna, like, you will have a confirmation for sure. So please just bear with me for a little bit, because I'm very popular these days and my inbox is very like full. But yes, okay. And remember, please put it in a new email, because if you put it in a thread, it may get lost. So please, I say so many times, but it's very important that you put it in a brand new email, so I know that that's your application and we can go through that one. So yes, thank you, Sabrina, for your kind words. Yes. Anything else? Anybody else who needs any other questions? Oh, I see. Okay, so many applications coming already. So thank you. Yes. Awesome. Well, if you guys need to go, ready to go, and thank you for coming. I will stop recording.